sophist. Like you're arguing for things you don't even believe are true. Like, and I'm the sophist.
Yeah,
Anyways,
that was rough. I could feel the emotion on you when
yeah.
getting called that, but it's understandable. Like I would get the same way if I would be accused
Well,
of being dishonest.
now that's still like that emotion isn't necessarily like me being angry or whatever. That's me like engaging with the person and showing that. So, anyways.
Yeah, all right. I know you don't like this question, but I like it. And let's see who won the debate, who made the better argument. And let's go around, and I'll start with Billy.
Well, I don't really know who won the debate this time. I can't really say this time because again, it's not really. I don't think that it was really something that should be debated. Mainly because even if you're in the flat Earth position and you've never been to space, then you're appealing to probability or possibility because you don't know yourself actually anything. Even if, but we actually have been to space and we've been to the moon and we've sent things to space. So I mean, we have the more like they don't have anything. I don't see anything from them. So that's
All
about
right.
it. I don't want to do another word salad. I did a word salad the one time. I and then the flat earthers were doing a review, and I was like, "Damn, I did do a word salad," and I said I did because I was like, "Shit, I fucking totally blew it." Or sorry, I swore.
It's fine. You can swear. You
As long
can
as it's,
insult people.
as long as it's not in the first 7 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. Ita, thoughts? There we go.
Sorry, I was just getting the
No problem.
computer online. It's pretty much what I thought. It's the same thing, and I actually agree with Oz in the sense that it's not like a win-lose situation. What are you exactly winning here? It's hard. Um, it's two different worldviews. It's kind of like an impasse. It's just not. It's like comparing an apple to an orange. That's kind of way that I looked at this conversation, and I thought some interesting ideas arose, but I can't say there was a winner or a loser. So I think my position that I stayed with at the beginning, I guess you would say it's a tie.
Oh, fair enough. Brenda, how are you? Did you watch the debate, and what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, I watched it. I think everybody lost.
Awesome.
Basically because Witzik got to spread his lies and propaganda, just spewed nonsense for hours. And I feel like I need to take a hot shower. I mean, no,
Fair.
he talked the majority of the time, and he sure as hell loves the sound of his own voice.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Before we get into the next prompt, I have a couple of comments that I've picked up from the audience. First of all, Siggy Sigwell sends a open arms emoji. He's been a member for 2 months, and he regularly hangs out with us. Thank you, Siggy, for being here. If you want to have a message, or you want to, or you want to make sure that your message gets read for everyone here, you can send a super chat. Otherwise, I'll pick and choose what messages I want to read. Siggy has strike again, gifted 50 memberships to Matters Now. We are not going to read everyone who they fell onto, but Siggy, thanks so much. Super Hornet asks, why was Witted debating for geocentrism? Doesn't he think space is fake? I only saw part. And we were wondering this in the pre-show, And it is a weird stance. I wonder what everyone on the panel thinks about this particular thing.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the pre-show. I said that, like, and also, yeah, like, he does claim there's a firmament. So I heard him say that there is a firmament, so you can't get around that. He made a claim.
It doesn't matter what he argues because his followers will just gobble up anything he says, and it doesn't have to actually make any kind of sense. I mean, it really doesn't. It just has to be not the standard heliocentric model. That's all it has to be. And they'll just it doesn't matter how ludicrous. I mean, he can literally say, right, that that the center of the universe is everything we can see around us, and yet and then at the same time say that then when Oz says, well, you don't know what's further than that, then he can just hand wave that away, and all of his followers will just go lap that up.
Or you're just talking about possibilities, dude.
Yeah, I don't think that that's actually a fallacy. I've never heard of it.
It's
No,
not.
it is, yeah. It is appeal to possibility or probability.
He's arguing. It's an argument. Is an argument from ignorance. Argument from incredulity. Like it's.
Well, no, I mean it's not that, but yeah, it is a logical fallacy though. What you said, like it is a real one though. The appeal to possibility, but I guess
he can't say it's true if that's all you've experienced. You can't say something is true. So he did reframe it. We're the center of what we've observed. I was like, okay, but that doesn't mean we're the center of all that exists.
All right. Thank you very much. Isa, any thoughts on this before we move on to the next question?
And this is a point too. Like somebody mentioned that, like somebody else said this too. Like Witsit got to speak more than I do, I think too. But this is the thing too. Like if he kept telling me I was interrupting Witsit, but Witsit kept monologuing.
Yeah.
And then when I would interject, Ryan would moderate me.
Yeah, I agree.
Once again.
So the question you're asking is, do I believe in what are my thoughts on the geocentric model? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Because the title you have is "Who Won the Debate." It doesn't have.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. Here. Hold on.
He sort of Max is sort of saying, what do you think about Witsit debating for geocentrism when he's a flat earther?
I mean, I think it's a unique position to take, but I think he's a talented rhetorician, so that's what he does. If he is interested in some rhetorical position, he'll debate it. So, like, I was there at DebateCon with Ocean and Leo. We were all there together, and he was debating some kind of position on ethics. So I think that, Witsit likes to do that. He likes to debate whatever thing that picks his interest. So
he was debating atheism. But
yeah,
he was accusing me of being a sophist, of being deceptive about what I believed was true. And then he's debating something he doesn't believe is true. So isn't he being a hypocrite by accusing me of deceiving the audience by arguing for something I don't actually believe is true?
Of course, it's completely hypocritical.
Yeah.
But again, his followers don't care. It's completely, it is a cult, and it is completely irrational. I'm just fully convinced of that. Certainly on the Witsit side, it's completely a cult, which is they just slavishly obey. They believe whatever Witsit says because he is like their god. He is really, Witsit is probably the most highly rated flat earther. think?
I'd say he's more like a rock star prophet. I would say he fits.
Yeah.
Mm.
Instead of a deity,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
a
he's
good way
more
to put it. Yeah, you put it well. Yeah, he's a rock star, and they just worship him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I like what Max says here. I did expose
Yes.
I exposed that it's all about him feeling special. He thinks the only way he can feel special is if the earth is the center of everything he spits. Even his closing argument, he closed out the argument. And to me, that's not how you feel special. And my closing argument, I think maybe, but his audience isn't going to understand that. But if you feel special just based on your physical location in reality, that seems hollow to me.
Mm-hmm.
I do think
and it shows to me. It shows like a shallow understanding of the theological position that they're taking when they make that claim.
so. I do think, Oz, that your approach was probably the best that could be done in that situation. You know, I don't know what else you could have done. If you had tried to be more forceful, I think it would have gone south. But I think you did expose him. But you know, I think it was the best that could be. I think it was the best tact to take.
Yeah. He got all triggered when I said that about trans women too. It's funny.
Yes, everyone did. That was awesome. Sigue Sigwell, 2,000 Argentinian pesos. I disagree with the moderator of MDD, which is basically created this fantasy around him as a replacement for his lack of self-esteem. I also do not appreciate how the moderator saved Witsit from answering to Ozian when he cornered him and called Witsit out of his obvious sophistry. Thank you for your message, Siggy. Monkey Cat Pat. Pat. I always forget the second Pat. I'm sorry. That was exactly what I expected. Oz won because he was correct. To be honest, I had more fun listening to Witsit. Tony believed it was just a good conversation. Yeah, it was better. And I think I experienced this firsthand that if you're not antagonistic to them, they will calm down and they will be a lot tamer. I went to Dave's channel with Brenda the other day, and no one ever insulted me. And I think that is because of a mimicry that happens when someone is being nice to them. I can't really explain it any further than that, but yeah, it's Oz is nice. He doesn't antagonize them. So I think that makes the conversation flow a little bit easier. Debates with people like MC Toon and FTFE, that even though I like them, I kind of don't agree with the way they conduct themselves during debates in insulting flat earthers and calling them names and stuff. I don't think it's...
Caleb was an exception for reasons because of how he treated me.
Yeah.
And Dustin Nemos was an exception for reasons that we won't talk about. But yeah.
And Bob, yes, I do agree that, but that is because of bigotry. I don't think it has to do with if Brenda was nice, they would still insult her. But that's just discrimination. It doesn't really have to do.
Oh, that's so fun. That's even funnier, Bob, in context to what I said at the end. Oh, I should do that every time. Fuck, hell with those people, man.
Yeah.
What is
honestly
wrong with them? I do not get it. Like,
The Watcher sends a $2 super chat. The Ocean trans penis joke at the end was funny. Yes, it was. It was really funny. All right. Let's go to... I'm saving a couple of messages for later. Let's go to the geocentric opening. What did you think about the Witsit's opening, Oz? And then we'll go around.
I've reviewed a lot of his debates. It was typical Mickelson Morley. You saw his slides. He didn't go through them all. Like, he's just reifying these concepts to say that he doesn't actually believe it's true, as he describes space as like energy or electricity or electromagnetic toroid field with some retrograde idea. Anyways, he doesn't believe it's true. He doesn't believe meteors exist. And I bet you, like, if you look at Hebrew cosmology, they believe meteors exist. It was just explained as like God's wrath throwing stones down. They believe, as we talked before, that birds were heavenly bodies. Like, birds were heavenly bodies. Like, these things were real to them. They weren't friggin' electrical things in the skies. Like, it's weird. Weird.
Billy?
I think he's mainly trying to argue about the Earth being stationary. He says it a lot, and I think that's for a reason. Like, he repeats a lot of the things he wants to drill into people's heads over and over again about that the Earth looks stationary, and so then if that's the case, then it must be stationary, and then debunked, destroyed, and then that's it.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that was a fact, and then boom. Misquoted people that didn't believe the Earth was stationary. Boom. Destroyed. All right. Issa?
Yes,
I'm
Issa.
done.
Yeah, thanks, Billy, thanks, Max. I'm gonna go with my favorite Neo-Tychonian model, kinematic
Yes.
equivalent, Michelson Morley. It's the standard. I'm gonna become a master Witsit. All I have to do, I'm gonna say those words. I'm just gonna say those words, and I'm gonna win. All I have to say is kinematic equivalent, Neo-Tychonian model, Michelson Morley, and I've won the debate on the conversation.
I
Kinetic.
would love.
You have to say
I would
kinetic.
love to see. I would love to see an Isa Witsit
Kinda like
debate.
statics.
That would be.
Well,
that would be
fun.
interesting.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Yes. Brenda.
I suffer from brain damage whenever I listen to Witsit.
That is funny.
He repeats the same old lies. And the biggest lie about the Michelson Morley is his claim that there was that they detected ether drift, and they didn't.
Right.
That was the whole point. And he keeps lying about the purpose. They keep saying that, well, it didn't detect the Earth movement, but that wasn't the purpose. It wasn't set up to do that. It was set up to detect the ether, and they didn't detect it. They knew that the Earth was moving, right? And they didn't. And since the Earth is moving, and the hypothesis was that the ether is immovable. That was the hypothesis. It's this substance that doesn't interact with anything except light, and it's stationary and absolute in space. And it's the stuff that waves when light travels, right? So the Earth is moving. Therefore, if it's a wave, then detecting at 90 degrees, you should get an interference pattern, and we didn't get one.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I do think that in his opening, he used kind of the flat Earth opening that he regularly uses, which I found kind of weird. But even in the geocentric model, the Earth is still a globe. That's where my brain went. Like, I didn't understand that.
He's had conversations with Dr. Sui Genis, whatever his name is, who's a rather famous geocentric person, and they've had long conversations. I don't remember the substance of it, but they didn't seem to be at odds about the shape of the Earth, because it was useful to him, right? It's useful to use the geocentric argument to debunk heliocentrism, and that's all that they're about. It's only about being a contrarian. They're contrarians, right?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm hoping- I hope we
Andrea-
can get sorry.
Andre Assis, I watched a video. Somebody posted it in the Matters Now Discord. People should join it. By the way, just go to Discord and search for the server Matters Now. One word, Matters Now. A plug. And so I watched a video where they were interviewing him. It's in the general chat, and he appeals to geocentrism, that everything orbits the Earth under this Machian sort of view of reality, and using Newtonian physics, sort of Machian view, because he doesn't believe God exists, and he thinks the Big Bang cosmology is a creationist story propagated by like the Catholic Church.
Huh, that's I heard that during the debate, and
What?
that is so weird just to reject the
Listen,
opposition because people were coincidentally Christian at the time.
yeah, I didn't get it didn't really come up because he didn't argue for it, but I'll play the video clip.
Well, a lot of young Earth creationists will appeal to the Big Bang as evidence of God's
Yeah.
creation of the universe. Yeah.
I brought it up, but here's a clip from Andre Assis.
Religious background and from different religions, but most of these religions, they have a beginning, they have a creator, and the Big Bang gives something of this kind. It's not that the universe was created 6,000 years ago, but 15 billion years ago. But in the end, it is the same. You need a creator there, and so
it's like they can sort of you move it back far enough so it remains in the realm of science, but you can still keep the creator force, basically.
Yes. But you see, to me, this never made sense, because this creation out of nothing, it is against the most basic conservation laws of physics, which is
Yeah, so he quotes Andre Assis all the time. This is the relational mechanics books, that blue book. I think it's not this one. That book he quotes all the time. That's that guy that wrote that book. So that's why he believes the Earth is the center to get away from God. Anyways.
I wanted to say
So-
one quick thing.
Yes, go ahead.
The thing I wanted to say is I'm hoping we can get some more studies and more, articles and journals and scientific studies from the 1800s. I think that would be really helpful for proving that the world is flat.
Yeah, I know. That's what he was doing.
On the book I was showing on the Wednesday show, it was from the 1700s. It was a Jesuit priest, and it showed the Earth as a globe. It showed the moon and how the phases of the moon. It had diagrams. It was pretty awesome, and it was from the 1700s. And he was a Christian, so it's baffling that in 2024 people just go to this fundamentalist Christian argument. And did I give it over to Billy? Give us your thoughts
Oh,
on
sorry.
Oz's opening.
Oh, it's my opening?
Yes.
Oh,
Wait, I don't think
Sorry.
you let.
Yeah.
I don't think you let him go first.
let
Yes,
me.
sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah.
Okay, and-
go ahead.
Well, and I also brought up the fact that if you go by the recent paper published by Gupta, that does away with dark energy, dark matter, and he kept like trying to straw man. No. You need dark energy. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not according to Gupta. But the universe is 26 billion years old. You still need expansion, but you don't need dark energy, dark matter if he's correct. You just need tired light, and CCC is true, which means like the universe is cyclical, like, but whatever. Sorry.
No
Go ahead.
problem.
I know
Billy.
my own argument. Go ahead, Billy.
Well, currently, the technology we have and what we know, it's rational to believe in what Ozian believes in, not what Witzit believes in. I think that's mainly was the main just like that. It's rational to believe, but having a belief is not necessarily a bad thing to believe things, because you have to believe something in order to have knowledge. You have to have some
Mhm.
kind of belief, and mainly
Yeah,
that
we
was what I got from it, and also from the book. I have your book too, so
we've been spreading the gospel that belief is not a bad word, and this
Yeah.
the YouTube atheists need to go a little bit away from that. Hope this
It's
message gets across somehow that belief is not a bad word.
that knowledge is justified true belief has been standard
Mhm.
philosophy epistemology since Plato. I mean, it's
Yeah.
literally in one of the Socrates dialogues. It's about as old a philosophy. Well, it's not quite. There's the pre-Socratics, but it's pretty damn old.
I love somebody wasted a super chat to try to own me on that. It's so funny.
Isa,
But I did argue more about. Anyways, everybody else can go. Sorry.
it's fine.
I mean, I think it's solid. It's based in what we have. It's based on data. So, I mean, yeah, the argument. I appreciate Oz is always trying to refine his arguments, and he was sharing with me before the show. You know, we have our little Discord meetup. So, yeah, I think it was good. It was solid.
All right, Brenda.
Um, oh, I'm sorry. What?
What thoughts on Oz's opening?
Oh yeah, it was fine.
All right. I had a question here related to this topic.
Well, my opening was agnostic about the claim. Like I said, it was incoherent to say what the center of reality was unless you know how big reality is. Like unless you can measure it, how do you know? And then
Mhm.
the idea of centrism overall is more of a philosophical concept. Is what do you mean by center? Is it sort of like a ethnic center idea? Is it a family center? Is it a person center? Like the idea that it matters that your Earth center or solar system center, who cares? Like you shouldn't be getting personal value from where you physically are in in relationship to the Earth or the solar system. Like,
Mhm.
how do you get value from that? How do you become special from that? Because God cares what He physically created? It makes no sense to me. Anyways,
Yeah, but he didn't want to address that line of thinking. He tried to move away from that as soon as he could.
yeah.
Uh,
But Dan Shar, the argument wasn't that the Earth was the center of the solar system either. The argument was that the Earth was center of all of reality.
mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So the next open discussion. I think it flowed. It flowed nicely. Witted kind of took over, and I do agree that Ryan moderated you maybe a little bit heavy-handedly because Witted was monologuing at some point. So I do agree with you also on that. But for the most part, it flowed nicely, and there were no insults, and it didn't devolve into what some of the debates with which it do devolve into. Um, but there were some things like he didn't want to define the universe and didn't want to define. So I'm gonna let you take over. What do you think about the open discussion? How did you feel? Give us the inside scoop.
Me?
Yes.
I was frustrated because he wouldn't like define terms like universe. How can I agree to your concept when you won't define the concept? Like you got to define your concept before I agree to it. He wouldn't define the concept because he knew I wouldn't agree to it. That's why he wouldn't do it. And he was calling me deceptive. So I don't know. Like he did want to feel special as he conclosed with, as he argued throughout. So it was about what my opening was. So it wasn't about whether the Earth was specially positioned in the center of the universe or whatnot. It was about, was he special? Was the Earth specially created for his existence or not? That's what it was about. And the Earth could be specially created for his existence without being in the center of the universe.
Yep, definitely. We're not even in the center of the galaxy, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Hugaman has an interesting question here I'd like to address very briefly. The last MC Toon debate on Jeranism, or the one before, I think, they did do this sort of speed chess strategy of giving a limited amount of time for the debaters and sort of a buzzer when they wanted to jump in. But the potential for abuse on the buzzer was kind of crazy. And I think it was FTFE actually, not MC Toon. And it allowed for FTFE to let the other person ramble and just run out their time. So he had like 4 minutes at the end where he could just speak. So it has been tried, hasn't worked though. Maybe with a little bit of polishing, it might be able to work. But yeah, it's weird to do something like speed chess mechanism over the internet. Just so you know, you can find that on Jeranism's channel and also on FTFE's channel. All right, open discussion. Thoughts, Billy?
I think it went okay, but it was like at least there was nobody going to ad homs and whatever, or no, I didn't hear any a lot. I didn't hear Witsit saying fallacy as much as he normally does. So, I mean, that's a
Yeah, because
All
those
right.
doesn't make fallacious arguments. He actively tries to avoid them. And when he called him out on fallacies, he was wrong. He was like throwing out fallacies to see which one would stick. Isa, thoughts on the opening discussion? On the open discussion, sorry. All right, let's hand it over to Brenda. Maybe Isa is doing something. Brenda, thoughts on the open discussion?
Boy, I had something in mind and it kind of slipped my mind. Something he was. You're right. There was little insults trading and going back and forth. Witsit did sort of filibuster. He likes to imagine. He is teaching people, and he is a lecturer. He really has a massive ego. I mean, he's got like over 24 videos where he pretends that he's educating globe earthers, and they're just filled with total nonsense. There was something, maybe it will come to me later. I was going to say that that's what I got.
Oh, sure. If it comes back to you, be sure to plug it in. Cole S says he tried suffix, red herring, all or nothing, authority fallacies. He also ad hom a lot, going all the crazy suffix, etc. I don't think he ad homed a lot. If you watch Witsit debate, he can ad hom way.
That's crazy, dude. Oh, that's just crazy. Like he's trying to which is more gaslighting. He's trying to say, I can't believe you're that stupid or that crazy to actually believe that's true. Like because he's expecting me to follow his script. He's expecting me to follow his script, which I don't do. Like I'm not a scientistic, which he expects me to be. Like I'm more of a rationalist than an empiricist, which is sort of weird, right? He is the scientistic. He keeps claiming he will only accept things are true through the scientific method, his own version of it. So his foundation for knowledge is his version of science, which is scientism. That is what scientism is. And he uses it against us. Like, that's not me, though.
And we covered it before. They rely on 100-year-old science when we have
Yeah.
built so much more, so much more. And now that you mention it, I had a couple of prompts saved up. This idea of the script that he mentioned it a handful of times, like, oh, you people have a script, you
I
people
know.
have a script. And then goes and says the exact same words he repeats every single debate and goes into the blah 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 blah, 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 and that is literally a script. He repeats it verbatim every debate. That is such a projection
Yeah.
on the script of the script of the Glowverse. It's like, well, it sounds like a script because it's common knowledge. It's what we most accept as the scientific consensus.
Oh,
Any
I
thoughts on? Go ahead.
when he says kinematics, you just have kinematics, not dynamics and stuff. What the hell is he talking about? I don't know enough about engineering to know what this is about.
The gist. Go ahead. Sorry, Oz.
He's saying there's formulas that you can use to explain observation.
Yes, he basically says that it doesn't matter which model, everything looks the same. You just have to do a little bit of playing with the numbers. That's what he refers to the kinematic and dynamic equivalences.
The dynamic is the explanation for the observation. The kinematic is the formula for the observation.
But that's just not true. I mean, the flat Earth makes wildly different predictions.
Well, they have no predictions. They're just saying they can. They just say they can make an observation about how fast something falls at 9.8 meters per second squared, and they just use that in their formula.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
just
and,
modern.
I don't
As Joe
understand.
Frost says, it's just modern Newtonian physics. Forces in motion. Just
Okay.
they're just saying
And,
it's not really gravity. They just call it acceleration instead of gravity.
anyone else have a thought on this whole idea of the script on either side?
Well, I don't see a problem with it if it's true. I don't see a problem with someone using a script if they're stating facts and true what they believe. I mean,
Yeah.
they want to be more confident by making notes and not just talking off the top of the head and going and sounding like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like when people get accused of like reading something for their opening. It's like, well, yeah, how are you going to remember like 10 minutes of things that you say or that you have planned? I don't know. Some people just make bullet points. Some people just write out the whole thing. It's different styles. It doesn't really matter. But I find it really funny that he accuses people of scripts and then literally repeats the exact same words from debate to debate. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm curious how somebody said they in another after show they've already declared they've won. How did they refute my opening argument? I'm just curious. Are they saying they have no value unless the Earth is the center of the universe?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a fair
Is that what
assumption.
they
Yeah.
said? I mean, that's the only way they can refute my opening argument. Are they saying they can measure the size of the universe? Weird.
Weird. Yes.
Well, they probably
but
they probably
Go
say
ahead.
something like if their theory isn't true, that they're not created by God special, then you can't believe anything. You might as well rape, kill, and murder and pillage to your heart's
Yes.
consent. That kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I
Pretty much
addressed
the-
that too.
Pretty
Try
much the
to.
idea of, oh, if I wasn't religious, I would be like a genocidal maniac, and that's appalling. It's like, okay, you need religion to tell you just to be a nice person. That's weird. Our good friend Coffee Breath, how narcissistic is it to think the default position is I'm the center of the universe? That's not my default assumption. I don't think it's most people's assumption. Thank you for being with us. You can come on stage if you want. I understand if it's late, but thank you for being here. Your shows, the shows that you joined this week, Coffee Break with Isa and those were awesome. So thank you for choosing us to be a part of here. We really appreciate you. I have another fun prompt that I thought up on the fly. What's with the
I
Nikon
know.
conspiracy? Yeah.
Well, see, this is what I hated about that whole thing. Okay, so once it's allowed to have this discussion about the Nikon conspiracy, Ryan's okay about that. But I'm going off topic when I want to talk about what centrism is really about.
I knew
Yeah.
everyone would enjoy that. Yeah. Oh, it's like how deep down the conspiracy rabbit hole do you have to go to believe that Nikon has a deal, some kind of secret deal with NASA to put away the flat earthers' favorite camera? So for what reason? That
Oh,
blew my mind.
because the flat earthers are getting too close to the truth. That's why the truth is
Yeah.
coming out. Yeah, it's completely well, and like he said, oh, I just heard about this just recently. It's just like it's just gossip. It's hearsay,
Yeah.
right?
He said it
I
was
heard this
gossip.
thing. I heard this thing, so it must be true. I mean,
I want
he
to
just has no standards.
Yeah. Well, like the thing with the waves on the moon is one guy's video he believes is true.
Yeah.
I want to point this out with L8. The L8 that would, if I had pointed out the episodicals in the geocentric model versus the simple elliptical orbits in the heliocentric model, which I don't believe in the heliocentric model, that's been surpassed by lambda CDM, so it would have been a straw man on my own view, actually. But it would have been a straw man of his view too, because he doesn't actually believe in episodicals, because he doesn't believe in that form of a geocentric model. So it would have been a straw man of his view. So it would have been a straw man no matter how I had approached that claim. So I didn't do it. I could have made arguments for heliocentrism, but this was not a science debate. It was just not.
Max mentioned this in the side chat during the debate that is he really not aware of the shortage of electronics and particularly camera parts happening across the board? I have been in the market for a new camera lately and it's a pain. Yeah, but he couldn't espouse the conspiracy if he acknowledged the fact that all camera brands are having sort of the same issue. And now let's head over to our open discussion. These after shows used to be more interesting when we got flat earthers on stage.
Somebody said they should be playing the violin. Like,
yes.
Sorry, I'm tired. It's late.
Overall, it was a fun debate. I did enjoy it. It didn't turn into like a shouting match or an insult match or whatever. It was fairly good. I don't know what the rest of you feel, though. If anyone wants to bring a specific topic for our own discussion, and this, if there's any flat earthers on the side chat, you may join.
Yeah, we have no.
I have a bit of a question. At one point, you asked him if he would agree that Newton was a genius, and he sort of said yes, but then he took it back.
Did he take it back?
He said he wasn't. He said, I think he said he wasn't sure if he believed in like that.
You're sort of breaking up, Brenda, but
I
didn't think he took it back.
He indicated kind of that it was a story, and he wasn't sure, and he didn't believe it. So
I think that was about the claim of who developed
calculus.
Calculus.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
because there's two people that were claimed to develop calculus at the same time. He says it was Newton. He said at first that Newton even developed calculus when he was 22 years old. And I built out, well, there's a claim that there was two people that developed calculus in parallel. He said that's just a story. He wasn't so sure about that parallel claim about
Yeah,
calculus.
I think that goes, there's something deeper there, that he believes that Newton was propped up by the
Leibniz.
Jesuits or something like that. There's some grand conspiracy underneath everything, but I don't know how you do that. But yeah, generally they say that Newton invented derivatives and Leibniz invented integral calculus.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Leibniz. Thank you, people. I couldn't remember the name. All right, but I think he agreed that he was a genius. Like, so I think he just wasn't sure about the other guy.
Yeah, but there's the conspiracy behind everything in the conspiratorial mindset, right? So like history has been rewritten, and we have all of this Tartarian thing and the Great Reset and Antarctica. You cannot even go there because you get shut down by military planes who are not even there. It's mind-boggling the amount of and they accuse you, oh, you believe in the globe without any evidence, and then you give them the evidence, and then it just gets hand waved away.
Does Witsit believe in Tartaria and mud flood stuff?
I
Ah.
don't know.
I don't
Do you
think so.
know?
Yes,
I don't
I
think he
think
believes in
so.
that.
Yes.
He does.
No, but he hasn't said it like outright, but he's kind of like there, like almost.
Has he
Yes.
said it? Like I asked him
Oh.
about the lands and aliens beyond. I did. And he said, I don't know about that. Maybe it would make sort of sense. But he doesn't have a positive belief because he hasn't seen evidence of it. So it seems like he's an evidentialist. Ozian wins, no bias here. Thank
Yes.
you.
I
Thank
believe
you,
I
Robin.
believe they call themselves truthers. That's
Yes.
what they refer to themselves as.
The term is annoying.
Well, they all call themselves truthers, but some of them believe in aliens in the outer lands with no evidence at all.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works, like because this is where we get into some problems, because some of them believe in the dome, but also believe in the outer lands. So how would that even work? Do you have like concentric domes for each of those that get bigger as you move out?
No. Well, some of them do, and some of them believe like there's a pathway. Witsit says there could be 7 domes.
But they have to have like a little door where you go out to the next or something, or like a.
Yeah, Hugh Hammond, he did talk about the dancing thing and the 9/11 thing in New York City.
Yes.
So he believes in all that. Yeah, he and the COVID stuff. Yeah, he believes in all that. So, and obviously he was offended by my comments about trans women.
Yes, he said something like, "Dude, that is disgusting," or something. He's like, "Dude, it's a joke."
Does he believe in the Mount Meru thing?
Mount Meru.
I haven't heard that one.
Because there's some flat earthers that plan on going to the North Pole and they're going to jump into Mount Meru or something.
I would like to share someone. There's a channel called Audit the Audit that does basically auditing auditor videos, and it's really interesting. It's really fun. And they go over Witset's Mount Rushmore video. So I'm going to share that link for anyone who's interested in. It's a very interesting.
I've seen it.
Take
I've talked to Witsit about it.
I'm going to leave the link for anyone in the audience who don't watch it now. Just stay with us. Save the link for later. Open it on a new tab. Don't go. We have another super chat from Siggy, pesos Argentina. The controversy regarding who invented calculus first, Newton or Leibniz, was settled by Newton himself when he became president of the Royal Society. There's your conspiracy. Hail Sagan. Yes.
Yeah, Newton
Sagan.
settled it when he became president, and he published it. He said, "Yes, I invented it first. Settled. I'm in charge. I get to decide. I did it." This is true, by the way. This is an historical event that happened. So it looks like it's Brenda, or I think the certain concepts were invented in parallel, and there were different concepts, and some in two different concepts there was overlap and different concepts invented. If you want to study the history.
Daryl says, now you get demonetized. No, we've been demonetized a couple of times, but you just put in like a human review and
we've never been demonetized. We've some videos have not been advertiser friendly, but they've still been monetized.
Yeah, but the times that we have been demonetized, you just put in for human review, and when it gets reviewed by a human, it goes back to being monetized.
It's never been demonetized. It just wasn't advertiser friendly. Different thing.
It works based on like analyzing keywords, I think. So the algorithm said, "Oh, they mentioned this, so let's pull it back." But when someone reviews it, it's fine. The monetized videos were mainly from Justin. Elate, Ocean, do you think Witsit actually believes the Earth is flat? Personally, I'm sure he doesn't.
I believe he believes it's flat. Why do you think he doesn't believe it's flat? I don't have any reason.
Well, it's this accusation that he knows the Earth is a globe, but he just does it for Billy. Yeah, go ahead.
Some people say it's because, like, I believe that people did this in the past. They took the position of the flat Earth to see if they could have their debate skills. Like if they could debate that, then they could debate anything. But I mean, that's not necessarily what I think, though. But I mean, that's what I've heard. So
yeah, that's part of the whole inception of the flat Earth movement thing. That it started as a debate exercise on a university campus. Jason McFawn. Austin 100% stands behind what he says. Did you watch the debate? You're welcome to come on stage if you want to share your thoughts with us. The link is pinned to the top of the side chat. It's the spirit of the show. We used to have a lot of flat earthers join our after show, and some of them, Flatman B comes on regularly, but he's probably at the other after show. But you're welcome to come on stage and share your thoughts. Jason,
but he was arguing that the ether drift was true. That sort of implies that we're actually drifting through the universe, so we're not stationary. I'm confused. How can you say that Witsit actually believes what he was arguing today? Because what he's arguing today was for a universe. Like he wouldn't even define what universe is meant for me. But he would for other people. Like we had to pin him down what universe even meant. Like, so I don't know.
Professor Phil Bell says you need to appreciate that Newton was in his 20s when he invented calculus.
22.
Yeah,
22.
In his 20s, that covers like the whole.
It was
range.
22. It was 22.
What does 22 mean in numerology, though? Satan.
4.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm tempted.
well, I used to be a flat earther at one point because I believed in a lot of different conspiracies, and that was mainly how I got into it, was because I was already convinced of these other conspiracies, and then it was easy for me to believe in the flat earth. And then I ended up going to college. Wow, no, but that was actually one of the reasons why, because I actually expanded my knowledge, and then I decided to maybe look into it more, and now I decided it's a globe, and the flat Earth doesn't have evidence that I feel, and I also believe in space, so that's the other thing. Like, I mean, if you don't believe in space, then it's easy to believe the Earth is flat. Then
Yeah. Our good friend Samir says, "Hi everyone. Hello Samir. Good to see you. Long time you haven't been around. Thank you for being here."
Amir believes in space, but I think Islam reified the concept of spreading out, because in ancient anyways, we won't have that argument. It meant tent, like spread out the tent.
Mhm.
Anyways, but Islam reified it to mean something else.
And our good friend Nadir would say that is evidence for Islam predicting the expansion of the universe, and we do not share that sentiment.
Anyways, yeah, I like read that, like it makes more sense now where it comes from. It comes from Near Eastern. It comes from ancient Near Eastern cultures, and then then 1,000 years later, as we understood more about cosmology in the 6th century, common era versus the 5th century, before the common era, 1,000 years later, we understood more about cosmology. Not a lot more, but we understood more. Anyways, wacky quacky.
Alpha 3000 said that sounds wacky quacky. The wacky quacky atheist. I love that.
Yeah.
One thing that I wanted to mention was in the stream we were the other day with Sovereign something Unchained Mind.
you
Or
just call him
like that.
Dave.
Yes,
You just call him Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
Sovereign Soul, Unchained Mind. I think.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Jaren was saying that MC Toon and the FTFE make more money than him, and he was really upset by that. It's like, dude, you have your audience, and they have their audience. It's like, what's wrong with that? Why are you accusing them of the same thing that you do? You have people that send you money, and that's perfectly fine. That's what we all do here. It's like this is the YouTube ecosystem.
He was so jealous. Oh man, you could just sense it. I mean, he was just really upset that they have,
Bigger
four times as many people, and they make a lot. I don't know how much. I don't know how accurate his figures were as far as how much they make. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's weird because Jaren has over 100,000 subscribers, so his YouTube account has the little mark, the little gray box behind it that shows verified. Yeah, but his argument was that they have like 4 times the the members, the channel members, than he does.
How does he know
but
that?
It's like, I don't know.
He can't get that data unless somebody is sharing it.
I have no idea how I kept a straight face through that.
Can't you get it through Social Blade? Can't you get it through Social Blade?
No, Social Blade doesn't share memberships.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But Social Blade will share estimated ad revenue, but that's just estimated ad revenue. It doesn't share Super Chat, and it doesn't share membership revenue. So I don't know how you would know that.
Well, as far as I can tell, MC Toon still works at his job, writing software for email clients. And if he was making as much money as Jaren was claiming, I think he would quit.
And the number of memberships depends on the membership tiers and in all types, and also depending on where the memberships come from.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Siggy.
I was going to say something really mean, but I'm going to hold.
The Argentino peso memberships aren't worth as much as the US dollar memberships.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
I appreciate it.
Yes, Robin and Siggy have like a very tight fight there for audience MVP.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, 5,000 pesos. Woohoo!
Yeah. The 666 Argentina pesos is like $3 or something. I still appreciate it. But YouTube recognizes it as because in Argentina he's like rich. But in the US you would be like living in a gutter.
no,
Just kidding.
because of the crisis that Argentina is going through with the
Yeah.
inflation, they make it cheaper. For example, one thing I noticed is in if I go to MDD, for me the MDD membership costs 49 American dollars, 49 cents, sorry. And one day I was advertising and Hannah said, has James changed the value of the membership? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I see 49 cents. And yeah, it's because when I'm in Uruguay, I get the charge less because we poor, you know. This
Yeah.
is the third world.
Yeah. I still appreciate it, but it's sort of
yeah,
funny.
yeah. Sig is awesome.
I should send him like $50. Just buy me 1,000. Just yeah, Social Blade is just a guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Social Blade is just using an algorithm to get the ad income, and even with that, it's still a way off because he cannot even get the location of the viewers, which affects the PPC greatly. Very good analysis on that, Samir. And even though we heavily disagree, Samir is a good guy, and we always have awesome discussions with him. Hope you can get back on the panel someday. We have some very interesting debates coming up on MDD. One about Hinduism and Islam, Daniel Hakikachu, and the other guy name I'm forgetting it, but it's about the treatment of women in Islam and Hinduism. That one is going to be interesting. We are getting ready for, I'm so excited for the after show for that one. And then there's also another one, which I have to check because I forgot.
Oh,
One second. Oh, yes. Islam versus Judaism, which is true. That one I'm very, very interested in also. So, yeah, let's hoping for those dates to come along real fast. The Hinduism versus Islam is still pending confirmation, but the other one is set for 4 days, March 28th.
On the 26th, I do have it's a 2v2. They like animated my thing. It looks so weird. Oh man, so weird. Anyways, it's a 2v2 on the 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a debate on Jeranism with Craig versus Dave and Dawn. So Sovereign Soul and Dust.
Oh,
Dassault.
Yeah, Dawn Dassault or something like that.
Yeah, so I'll post it in the Discord for you.
They're certified. They're certifiable. I mean, no, I'm sorry, but I was listening to him earlier, and they're insane. I don't know how else to put it. Dawn, yeah, she's deep conspiracy tard land.
Oh man, hopefully it doesn't get bad.
When I was speaking with Dave, I spoke twice with him and Flatoid in the same day, and I tried to. He got me into the gravity debate, and he kept saying, "No, the Cavendish is not an experiment." And I tried to ask why, and I didn't get an answer. It was just like, well, the Cavendish is not an experiment, and gravity is not a thing. But it's like, dude, you have to tell me why. You can't just say the thing and. Again, he will go back again. And it's like, okay, you're repeating your claim. You're not explaining why. You need to explain why it's not a valid experiment. And they go into the whole dependent variable. It's like, yeah, well, you have the distance and you have the masses. Well, but you can change both. Yeah, but you can change them one at a time and see how that affects the experiment. And like it was like speaking to a brick wall, to be honest. It was hard. You need to take your patience pill for that day because it's going to be rough. But to be fair, Jeranism, he's a good mod. When he's moderating, he's quite fair. And the other day, he wouldn't let me finish speaking during that stream that we were on with Brenda. But when he's moderating, he's a lot more fair than when he's just talking or participating in a stream. So I think we lost Isa there. He looked tired. Maybe he fell asleep or something. I'm not sure. I don't want to defame him. But any other thoughts? Any other thing anyone wants to bring up?
No.
I can't think of anything.
All right. So short and sweet. We used to get into more heated discussions when we had the flat earthers come to the after shows, but now they're going somewhere else. So what are you gonna do? So if no one has anything to say, let's do some final thoughts, and we'll go around and we'll close it out for the night. Thank you everyone in the audience for being here. Stay tuned to Matters Now. We have a lot of things coming up tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are talking flat earth versus in the Bible with Dr. J. Max, and I hope Isa can join us for this one. The previous, will be part 2. The previous video we did was the one that we reached 10,000 subscribers. It was awesome. I did a dork dance. And on Wednesday, we have for the Tell Me That Story show, the book of 1,000 Nights and a Night, part 2. Isa is taking over the main duties for the chat during the Tell Me That Story show. And we are going to cover a full story. We're going to read about a full story of the 1,000 Nights and a Night. So it's going to be a little bit different than the regular format, but I'm more than happy to hand the reins over of a full show to Isa now that he's co-hosting the show with me. Samir, I muted you for a second there because you had some noise. So we're on the final stretch, but good to have you on stage. If you want to give us, I'll start with you on the final thoughts, and we can wrap it up. Thank you for being here. Go ahead, Samir.
Hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I just came up to ask this simple question, and hopefully I can get your thoughts about it. I believe when the smart, educated viewer goes to modern day debates, or comes here, or goes to any reputable debate channel, they are most often looking to widen their base of knowledge, whether they're looking to change their mind or learn something new or learn better arguments for their position or learn or any of the sort. Now, my question, does flat earth debates dumb the topic for that audience? I'm not talking for the audience that just willing to watch any debate. I'm talking about the serious audience that wants to put the debate on their TV, put it on their calendar, and sit down and watch. Does it dumb it down for them? Because I feel like it could only be taken seriously for so long. After a while, it's not really a topic. It's like prove to me that I don't know that.
Santa Claus doesn't exist.
Yes, exactly. So this is the question. I'm gonna stop here, mute my microphone, and listen to you because I'm interested in understanding your opinions about the seriousness of the debate and the seriousness of the channel when it brings up these topics.
I think I debated a lot. So what I tried to do tonight, I don't know if you watched it or not, is I tried to get to why he believes it's true. And it came to his special place in the universe. It seemed to be the case that unless the earth has a special place significance, like a creation story, that he can't be special, right? But it doesn't matter, right? Because you're a Muslim, you don't believe that Earth has to be in the center of the universe for you to have some type of godly divine providence. Like you were created necessarily by God to have purpose and meaning, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Right. So the idea that geocentrism must be true for your you to have value, and that's what my opening was about. I like said this idea of centrism is meaningless. This was the argument behind whether heliocentrism is true, if geocentrism is true, where it's trying to hold on to this whole biblical cosmology from the Old Testament that the ancient Hebrews believed was true, which was based upon their concepts that all the ancient Near Eastern cultures believed is true. That I spent the whole week this week covering why they believed it was true, where these concepts came from. I did a book review from a expert of ancient Near Eastern cultures that covered that covered the biblical cosmology. I only read half the book though. I apologize. But anyways, and then we had Coffee Breath, Isa on. We had people that took these type of courses to understand it much, much better than I do. It came on stage to talk about these concepts. And you can look all across the world what these worldviews meant to these different cultures, why they believed they were true. And none of this had anything to do with their own personal significance in the world. To imagine that you can only find purpose and meaning and value based upon your physical location within the universe seems like a hollow purpose and meaning, right? Like if you believe in God, then your purpose and meaning comes from that divine providence. If you believe that that you exist necessarily because of all the past events in the past through the weak anthropic principle. I don't want to get into the argument versus atheism versus theism, and that we're social creatures and you find meaning and purpose through your familial relationships, your family relationships, and stuff like that, whether it's because of evolution, whether it because God deemed it so. We all find purpose and meaning through our relationships. Like that, just it's weird that it matters where we live. And that's where I wanted to go. And he said it multiple times. Witz has said it multiple times that we have to be special. Like the earth has to be specially located for us to be special. That's what this debate was about. But Witz wouldn't engage. Like he wouldn't engage honestly. He says he just wants to believe things through empiricism. Like so he doesn't understand philosophy. First of all, like he's an empiricist. Really, you believe in the flat Earth and you're an empiricist? So I don't know what you think about that, Samir. Do you have? But that's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to deconstruct their beliefs and not to engage them on science because we're not having a science debate, right? Because science is a method. You use science to discuss science. You don't use these other weird you don't use paper that the scientific community has discarded to discuss science. You don't use papers from 150 years ago to discuss what we understand about cosmology in 2024, which was what Witsit does, which was what flat earthers do. The Gleason map is a reified biblical cosmology. Biblical cosmology is about what the Hebrews believed the world was. And like 300, 500 BCE. It's weird.
I've got into this particular debate a couple of times in the modern day debate Discord, that and a lot of the hardcore theists hate it, that I get the meaning for my life is I found a lot of meaning in music, in making music, in DJing. I found my place in the world, in the dance floor, and they absolutely hate that because it's like, well, but that's meaningless. I mean, it's not meaningless when people share that they danced all night and they come and tag me. It's not meaningless by any measure. Like, it means a lot to me, it means a lot to them, and they really hate that I derive the meaning of my life. And when we started doing this channel regularly, now I get a lot of meaning about being here with you and sharing stuff and doing my show on Wednesdays with Isa and talking about a bunch of these other stories and myths. And I get a lot of meaning from that. I get a lot of pleasure. I get a lot of me putting out some positive messages in the world and at the same time having a few laughs. And I think that that meaning gives my life a true purpose that I absolutely enjoy, and it makes me happy. And why does that have any less value than you feeling special because you have a theological position on something? So if anyone else wants to take a crack at Samir's question, go right ahead.
Well, people told me skateboarding was a waste of time, and then it became an Olympic sport, and now it's like taken a lot more serious. But when I first started, it was definitely not taken serious.
Do you go to the Olympics?
Well, no, I'm just saying that, like, if you like, anybody can have the potential to, like, somebody that's younger, obviously not me. I'm definitely not not that good anymore. As when I was younger, I was definitely more capable, and I had less fear on hurting myself. Now I'm definitely a little bit more scared of hurting myself than I was when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
You know, Max, what you just said. You see, I don't want to put a stick in any wheel of the conversation because like I came on board for like a specific thing, but like I really want to ask you just this because you did say that when you talked about the meaning. I can like split it into the real meaning, the greater meaning, and a meaning. Like finding a meaning might be satisfactory to you, to me, to everyone else, but the meaning, the greater meaning, that is like different. Like getting a bunch of people, for example, to hang out in a group and and talk about numbers and patterns in numbers and whatever, and just what's going to say. And then you ask them, and they say, "Well, I enjoy these groups. I enjoy hanging out with these people." Like they never achieve anything. There is no goal. They never solve anything. They never. But to them, it's still a meaning. They still enjoy to do it. That's a meaning, and it might be different from one to another. But like if you talk to mathematicians, then the meaning, the greater meaning will be, for example, to solve the big questions, the big problems with those numbers, to solve the Riemann hypothesis, the Poincare conjecture, the Fermat's last theorem, something like that. So if you talk to like the people of the topic, they would say that's the meaning. But if you talk to the people hanging out in a group, maybe they just enjoy the conversation and talking about numbers and patterns and stuff. But you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, but I'm not the place that I have in the world. I'm not in a place to have any greater meaning. I derive meaning from things that are at my reach. And if you want to maybe try to extrapolate, there's an anthropological thing about people getting together and making music and dancing. So that speaks to one of the most primal things in humanity. And I want to thank Flatman B for coming over. How are you doing? We were on the final stretch and wrapping up.
Oh, I know. Sometimes I show up at the last stretch. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Thank you for coming, though. Give us like your brief summary of the debate. What did you think?
Yeah, sure. I'm obviously going to be biased and go towards, flat Earth. But I love Ozzy, and he's got his passionate, and yeah. So I'll say equal. How about that?
Fair enough. But you can always give your opinion freely here. That's the point of the show, and we appreciate you coming over. Did you get a chance to check out the other after show?
Oh,
Any-
was there a different after show?
Yeah, they did one over at Ether Cosmology.
Oh no, I missed it.
No, all right, no problem. So where were we? We were giving final thoughts.
I heard they were insulting me.
Oh,
So.
that's not cool.
Like I said, Ozzy, and I love you. I know you're passionate. I believe that you believe what you believe. Is that fair? And
Well,
I
I
believe
don't-
what I believe. I just, I don't know. I'm always like a loving. I try to bring it back, bro.
I think I was trying to be nice during that debate. If you saw it, did you watch the debate? Oh, yeah, you were in the audience, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I tried to be real in the debate. Like I wasn't making I was trying to make humble claims. I tried. Anyways,
No, you're cool, bro. Like I said, I love you. You're coming from your thing. They're coming from their thing, and when you're passionate and honest, like that makes it equal to me. So I enjoyed it, bro.
he kept saying it was being
Obviously, I'm a
deceptive.
flat earther, so I'm gonna lean flat earth. So
He kept saying it was lying, though. I was annoyed by that.
Nah,
Anyways,
but that annoys pretty much everyone. I wanted to cover this. Garminen says, I watch this debate for entertainment. When you get a good globe debater, you can learn things that you may not know, in my opinion. And then sends another
That's a
message.
well
Another
said,
thing is the pseudoscience was left unchecked to spread. I feel like we would have a lot more people going towards those ideas.
no, I
more.
like the first guy that just did his chat there. Yeah, we are gonna learn from Globers, guys. We got to be open-minded. We can't be closed-minded and think that we can't learn something. Yeah. Not that Wits is like that, but there are flat earthers out there that they're close. Like we got this, and there's nothing more to learn, and yeah, there are things to learn from Globers, bro. In my humble opinion, and vice versa.
Yeah. And the Kitsune Cavalier says, if I were there, I'd bring up Antarctica from space. Austin's question couldn't be answered because there aren't enough satellites in polar orbit. And I did think about this during the debate, but as I was moderating, we tend not to get into the debate too much. We just talk about people, about random stuff, but we try to remain impartial during the debate, so you rarely see me making comments on.
No, I
the
think you
debate
guys
itself.
are very good at. I mean, I think we're all pretty. I think we've all. I think like over the years, like it's evolved where globe and flat earthers can be cordial together. Hopefully, we can keep that going.
Yeah, today was not too bad. We moderated, but it's always fair. Like people, we get insults from both sides, and we moderate both. And Ryan said it today. Like people don't see the messages that get moderated because they usually get caught up in the filter, and people don't get to see them. And Kitsune Cavalier said, "I meant it as a tip for us." Yeah, I know, but.
What was the tip? I forgot. I missed it.
That there aren't enough satellites in polar orbit.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Okay,
It
thank you.
takes a lot more energy because they usually do an equatorial orbit or an oblique orbit, and the circularization towards the poles takes a lot more fuel than.
That's begging the question, Max. I'm just joking.
Yeah, people keep giving me advice of what I should have done, could have done. It's like I'm never going to convince a flat earther that geocentrism is more parsimonious because you don't believe space is real. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like these, like, well, I could show them pictures of what the orbits of planets look like in the
And we're gonna
Tychonian
tell you
model.
it's a cool story, bro.
And I'm like, but they don't believe space is real. Like, what's the point of me showing the loop-de-loop Like I have pictures of it. Like, oh yeah, look, it's even like one of my intros I do. Hold on, people can watch it right now. I'm going to mute people for one moment. See, I have videos. Like it does this loop de loop, the razzle dazzle dance. Like they don't believe it's
We
real.
believe what we believe, and you believe what we believe, and we have a strong conviction. So it's a strong battle, brother.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Let's go. Final thoughts. I'll start with us, and then we'll go around, and we'll wrap it up for tonight.
It's weird. Like the moon waves things, he believes. One guy that does a couple observations from his house, I said, why don't you duplicate the experiment from different locations to see the waves on the moon? Has anybody ever seen waves from the moon with their eyes, or has always been
Nope.
through some camera?
Mm-hmm.
I've stared at this. I've never seen it with my eyes. It's always weirdly through some optical device looking through it that gets knocked. Like, oh, look at this. Waves. Ooh, so weird. Wait. Did you see? Wow, I flipped around. It's always
You
weird.
actually went upside down twice.
I did. I know. Like, so sort of weird, isn't it? And then, so if you're in two isolated locations, it'd be a good thing. So don't remember. Next week, I'm going to restart my reschooling Flat Earthers series. I wanted to change it up this week because I'm getting prepared for a conversation with Flatzoid about biblical cosmology. I don't know when we'll have the conversation, but I think this is important because I can get to the understanding of where a lot of flat earthers coming from. Not all flat earthers, of course, but a lot of them. And I'm going to come up with more like sermons, Christian sermons about what is true about the nature of reality from a cosmological perspective and a biblical perspective, where they don't have to deny Christianity or modern cosmology. How about that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so be aware of that. And I do have a debate 6 p.m. next Tuesday with Fight the Flat Earth Craig against Sovereign Soul Unchained Dave and some girl named Dawn. I don't know who she is, but apparently Brenda said she's conspiracy. That's a lot of flat earthers. I'll see what happens.
And we'll do the pre-show and after show for that for sure, right here
Okay.
on Matters Now. Final thoughts, Billy.
All right. So what I got from it, if we can't get past the firmament and you're not sure about anything past this firmament, then how can you claim anything to be in the center of a universe? And how do you even know there's a universe? And how do you know how big it is? And and I think that's basically appealing to probability and possibility if you're claiming that and you can't actually say for sure and you're saying maybe. I feel like maybe is more you might as well just say I don't know if you're going to say maybe. And I'm lucky enough to be able to see the solar eclipse, but I'll be talking to you guys before that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be. I got the glasses. I'm in the bag, so I don't mess them up. But yeah,
All right.
I'm
If
gonna
you can
do-
take some videos and send it
I'll
over,
take
so we
videos
can.
too.
All right. Yes. Go ahead. Awesome.
But yeah, that's all I want to say though. Thanks. They're
Oh.
carrying me on as usual too.
40 days after the eclipse, we're going to have the World Didn't End live stream, just so you know.
Oh, it's May 19th, supposedly.
Yes. So we're going to
Yeah.
have the World Didn't End live stream in honor of the band Christ Brings a Sword. I
Yeah.
think Isa is not here, so I'm going to hand it over to Samir. I hope we answered your question, Samir. You caught us on the way out, but final thoughts, and we'll wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Well, the point of my question was just to say that you guys are, I feel like you guys are way more intelligent than to waste your intellect on trying to prove something that is so obvious. And I wish to watch you and listen to you guys talk about topics that matter more. Uh, as far as the flat Earth side, what bothers me the most, it's not the fact that they believe something different. It's the fact that it's where they get their evidence. So if you have every scientist in the world tell you this is this way, they will say that some flat earther actually went on the 74th floor and had binoculars and looked at the earth, and that's proof. And that's it. It's just an account of somebody that said something, and all of a sudden that nullifies all the science in the world and everything else we heard. And the explanations they give for everything, just like the simple question I had asked many times, I say, if you travel east from New York to London to New Delhi to Tokyo and back to New York, you find yourself back in New York. How is that work on flat Earth? And the explanations they try to give for that are so like I don't even believe they believe them themselves. They say that you didn't go on a straight line, you went on a rotation. And I repeat, no, you went on a straight line. Remove the rotation part because it does not exist. You're trying to salvage your belief. You're going on a straight line and you're back in New York. Can you explain it? Give me some logical explanation that's going to convert all these people that believe in the globe. But for some reason, they patch it up, and I believe they're not convinced themselves, let alone convincing anyone else. So I maintain my position. I believe that you guys should debate topics that are more worthy of your intelligence. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Samir. Flatman, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love you guys so much, and I'm sorry that I showed up a little late. I do apologize on that one. Samir, if it didn't matter now, then we wouldn't be in this discussion right this very second. So apparently it does matter. I think we could all work. I'm sorry. I think we could all work together, brother. I think we could all cordially just get this all figured out, work together, use our own resources, and work together. You know, we could do a lot of experiments, and I really enjoy this community, and I love you guys, and I think that's about it for me.
All right, thank you so much. We have done the housekeeping, so I'm going to just let you know, for those of you who didn't like the original design with the square of the Matters Now merch, now you have new designs without the square, and you have the logos. There's a bunch of new colors. So also, the moment someone told them that they didn't like that, he got to work and made the designs that very same night, and he's showing us right here. Is that a onesie for the baby? Oh my God. Yes, dude, that's so cool.
I selected everything, so look, you get baby clothes.
All right, we're gonna need some flat Earth onesies now because this is absurd.
Why? It's pretty awesome, dude. That's great. Have the baby support Matters Now. That's awesome.
You can pretend it's a flat Earth. It's on a shirt and it's flat.
Set Alpha 3000 says, thanks for the show. Also great and powerful. And Max, thanks so much for being here.
That's a Wizard of Oz reference. Oz, the Great and Powerful. So, yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's also a rainbow flag LGBT reference. Real trans women have penises.
Yeehaw.
Oh, okay.
No, Oz the Great and Powerful, you know?
Oh, no.
Know who that is?
Oh, no, I got confused.
Wizard of Oz.
No, yeah, now I understand. Yeah.
No, and Frank L. Baum is sort of like the LGBT community think of him as like an icon because they think he was closet gay and maybe trans.
All right, and with that, we're gonna thank everyone in the audience for being here. Sorry, go ahead. Were you going to say something else?
No, I'm just making light of it. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just like being fun.
All right, and with that, thank you everyone for being here. This was a lovely Saturday evening. And we'll hope to see you again tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing a video, part 2 of the analyzing the flat Earth verses attributed, to the flat Earth in the Bible. Thank you so much, and have a great rest
I
of
love you
the
guys. God bless
weekend.
you.
You too, Flatman. Thank you for coming up.